Hi everyone, my name is Erin Elizabeth Weinberg. Thank you so much for choosing to be here with me today. Welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome if you are new here. Today we're talking about how relationships need to be reciprocal and focusing on that more than the energy of like keeping score. So as always, whenever I talk about relationships, the first thing I want to say about this is when I say relationships, I don't just mean romantic relationships, okay? There's this mainstream narrative whenever we see relationship, we need romantic, but I'm not talking about romantic. I mean, I am, but I'm not talking only about romantic. I'm talking about all relationships. I'm talking about platonic. I'm talking about family. I'm talking about friends. I'm talking about, whatever, any relationship this information can be applied to, except when we're talking about a parent-child dynamic, if the child isn't an adult child, isn't grown yet, and also if there's like care, if there's a situation where there has to be a lot of like physical and emotional care for someone just based on some dynamic with that. But you'll get what I'm talking about as you keep watching the video. Okay, so first thing I want to say about this is relationships are to enhance our lives. They're to help us grow, learn about ourselves. They're to help us become better people, hopefully. They're to help us have fun, enjoy life, show us where our blind spots are. Any and all of that is the point of relationships. And so if you are in relationships that feel depleted, or you feel taken advantage of, or you feel like you're a doormat, or you feel like you're giving so much to, then this might be a video for you to think about where can you do some like reevaluation. So just like everything else in life, relationships are an energetic exchange, and then of course they manifest in physical reality. But so sometimes people in relationships can think of it as like a keeping score thing, right? Like I drove you here, so you drove me there. And I listened to you for 1 hour, so you listened to me for 1 hour, right? And sometimes those things can apply, but when we look at only having the relationship as like, and I did this for you, so you have to do this for me, instead of like this flow of energy that can happen between two people and just be this energetic exchange that isn't limited by like quantifiable human items, we can allow so much more to bloom and to blossom and to come forth with that. And so when we think about relationships, you really want to ask yourself and examine, with this particular person or this particular situation, what are my needs in the relationship? What are the other person's needs in the relationship? What are we here to share with each other, to exchange with each other? How are we complementing each other's lives, right? So we have different relationships for different reasons. So, for example, someone who's in a book club with you, you would have different energy and expectations than someone who's like your live-in romantic partner, for example. But with all relationships, we want to think about how the energy you're putting into it is it given back to you, and is there balance, is there reciprocity. So that doesn't mean that, again, well, I did this exact thing for you, so you need to do this exact thing for me. That's not what we're talking about here. We want, as long as you feel nourished and full and taken care of, and like there is again that balance between this, and both people are getting filled up, both people are allowing this flow to cross back and forth, maybe in your particular friendship or relationship or whatever it is, like it's like you really like driving and the other person doesn't. So it's easy for you to have more of this balance between, you don't have to keep score of like I drove once, you drove once, because there's preferences. And so it's like, okay, one person really likes driving, one person really likes doing the radio or doing the directions while you're driving, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean every single thing has to be tit for tat, but there has to be an energetic exchange. So if you're the one driving, picking them up, paying for everything, doing this, doing that, and you don't want to be doing that, you want it to be more equal, then that's something that you need to talk about. But one person can be doing all those things if the other person does feel fulfilled and is doing, bringing something else to the relationship. So we want to move away from the shift of, this half-half, 50-50 reciprocity thing, unless that is something that really works for you. And if it is, then that's fine. If it actually is split 50-50 in like physical reality things. But if that isn't working for you, or you function better with different rules or dynamics or things of the sort, then you should open yourself up to that, because relationships shouldn't be limited just by, if you have boundary issues, or if you've been taken advantage, or if there's gender roles affecting the relationship, or your own trauma. If any of that is at play, that is what can mix up or get, these relationships to be a little bit confusing, because they're not so much focused on reciprocity anymore, because someone hasn't expressed their needs, someone hasn't gotten clear about what works for them, what doesn't work for them. And so all of this is really about knowing that, okay, these relationships, I need to be filled up and I need to offer that fill up to someone else. So again, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's I'm doing this and you're doing that, but it is about, okay, what's the energy going on here? What's the dynamic? Do we even like energetically match for each other to continue getting to know each other, right? Or continuing having this friendship. Sometimes a lot of relationships people just maintain through habit. And so one reciprocity aspect you can look at is if this relationship isn't really filling you up anymore, then like, okay, do I need to see them less? Do I need to, is this something I don't want to pour so much energy into? Like as we change in life and our values change, our goals change, all of this change just based on our current circumstances and what's going on for us. It is a time for us to kind of reevaluate and figure out, okay, is this relationship helping me fill up, helping me feel like the person I want to be? Or is it, am I just here out of habit? Am I just here because I think I need to be? Am I just here because, whatever is going on with that? And so it's important for you to, again, think about these relationships in terms of reciprocity and not so much like, I did this for you, now you do this for me, right? There can be, we all have strengths and gifts, and a lot of our relationships are complementary. And so again, it doesn't necessarily have to be, am I looking at this from a like, here's my checklist, am I doing this, are you doing this type of thing? It's just more about the reciprocity, the energy flowing back and forth, maybe one person is really good at this particular thing and then the other person is good at this, and then together you match well. Or maybe it does work better for you that you split things 50-50, or like there can be more flow and focusing more on like how it feels and the energetic fill up more so than like the exact, I'm doing this so you can do that, or you're doing this so I can do that. And the other thing I want to say about relationships too with reciprocity is there are times in life, of course, where it's not going to be a complete balance. We all go through things like physical health, mental health, big transitions, where we're just not as available for our relationships, or we might need a little bit more support with that. And so this is where you can kind of like add some leeway and know that, okay, maybe this is a time I need to pour into the person a little bit more than they're pouring into me, just because they're going through a transitory or, a difficult situation. And so looking at the history with this person and looking at, how much of this is you like stepping up and, kind of offering that love and care that comes with friendship and, long-term investment in people and commitment to people versus, okay, we're both like in a calm state in our lives, what's going on. We're like, we're kind of in the flow of life versus when we all go through transitory things, we need a little bit more love, care, and support than we're able to offer. And so, you are the only one who knows your limits. You are the only one who knows when you can or cannot continue on with a friendship or a relationship for whatever reason. But again, in general, it is about reciprocity more so than it's about, exact keeping score for things. With just how the relationship and situations play out for you. But again, if you are going through a tough time, you need a little bit more support, or someone is a little bit more withdrawn and they can't show up for you as much, it is an opportunity for us to also offer grace and mercy and compassion to ourselves and to the other person that we're having the situation with, just because we want to focus again more on like this reciprocal long-term energy versus being understanding and patient with that, versus like, you didn't do this for me so I'm leaving, or like you can't keep up with exactly what I want, right? And again, only you know your limits, only you know when enough is enough. But it is important to look at and think about the ways that we might ebb and flow with some of this reciprocity. But in general, relationships, things that you choose, the people that you choose to have in your life for whatever reason, should be reciprocal and focused more on like this energy exchange more so than the physical reality keeping score. Okay, that's everything I have for you today. I hope this serves you. If you ever want any more information about me, all of it is linked below. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a wonderful day.